Alright, YouTube, I had several people mention the Prince video I uploaded didn't have sound. I'm not going to bother re-uploading it because, you know, who fucking cares? This is about Trump's transgender bathroom controversy. I say controversy like this because I don't see anything controversial about what he said. Some people, I guess, feel uncomfortable, Ted Cruz being one of them. He's already attacked Trump on this. With what Trump said. He said that people who are transgendered should use the bathroom they fucking want to. You know, obviously not, he didn't say it like that, but in no small and certain terms. Essentially, he doesn't give a fuck. Now, this is interesting because I pointed out to people he also doesn't give a fuck if you're gay or if you have an abortion. A lot of people appear not to have quite comprehended that. What you have to do is look back at what Trump said in some cases 2 decades ago, and you will understand he is not a moralist. This is why, even though he pretends to be more authoritarian in a social sense than he actually is, I'm not taken in. I'm one of the people who will be voting who looks beyond just what the fucking mainstream media says. I know a lot of people, they look at basically what the media says now or what the candidates say while on the campaign trail. Now, this is a shitty thing to do. It's like Obama. If you listen to just what Obama said while campaigning, he was going to close Guantanamo, get us out of the Middle East, he was going to do this great thing and that great thing and all these wonderful things. And he never actually did any of those things. If you dug back further, you'd find his views were a little bit different. It's like on gay marriage, Senator Obama opposed gay marriage. Why do you think he didn't press the issue? Because his original deeply held belief, as the kind of authoritarian he is he's not particularly comfortable around gay people. He's not some gay activist crusader on the forefront cutting edge of gay issues of progressivism. Hillary Clinton, same thing. She's not socially progressive. She's kind of a centrist. Her views are basically outdated. Trump would have been considered remarkably progressive for the 90s. He'd be considered, you know, a centrist today, I guess. To the people on like the alt-right or whatever that are disturbed by what Trump would say, I'd say you're getting like 99% of what you want. He happens not to care about transgendered people and what bathroom they use, and that would be a sticking point. I'm going to hazard a guess that at the end of the day, 99% of the people that might be a little bit taken aback at his progressive stance on what is essentially an issue of privacy under the Constitution aren't really going to care about it. They're thinking about the big, beautiful, juicy wall right now that Trump wants to build. Probably not too concerned about the concept of transgender. I mean, the funny thing is, I would think that women would be more concerned about the concept of people who are transgendered using the bathroom of their choice. Men, it's like, you know, why do they fucking care? They're surrounded by men in the bathroom, you know, they're pissing and shitting and farting and doing all that manly stuff, okay. If somebody walks in with boobs and, you know, a nice figure, they're probably not too worried about that fact. Whether it's a transgendered person or not, they don't fucking care because they're men. You know, they're more muscular, they're more forceful in their actions and so forth. If they're getting, you know, randomly groped by a transvestite and they don't like it, they're going to punch them out or stab them in the neck or something. Women might be a little more concerned seeing someone who's, you know, transgendering from male to female or whatever in their bathroom. Okay, I can understand that. The thing is, Trump's not too worried about their votes, honestly. Most of his fans are male. I would like to think they may pretend, and this is the other part, a lot of people will pretend to be morally outraged by the concept of transgendered individuals. I can remember the 90s. I can remember a hell of a lot of people pretend to be morally outraged by homosexuality who now are all comfortable with it and on board, and they say, oh yeah, gay is okay. But if you listen to them back in the 90s, Hillary Clinton included, it was a horrible thing. It was sick. It caused AIDS and all sorts of other horrible things. But it was all a show. They were doing that because of the peer pressure of other people around them that actually did have those beliefs. You know, I like to think that people should be truthful about what they believe. Here's the truth. I don't fucking care if transgendered people use whichever bathroom they use. I don't even care if there's gender segregation in bathrooms to begin with. I pointed this out, I think it was about a year ago, there was a case where a school was going to allow a student who was transitioning, I believe, to being male to use the male bathroom. And there was a big stink about it. And I said, who the fuck cares? Why do we even bother having gender segregated bathrooms? I mean, it's just a place you're going to piss and shit. Yes, there's going to be the issue of someone who's not actually transgendered, maybe just puts on a different a different set of clothes and wanders into the bathroom to be a pervert. Well, you know, ultimately they can kind of do that already anyway, and then start a lawsuit if they get kicked out. So what's the fucking difference? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change my life. It doesn't affect me really in any way. I don't fucking care. I'm so over all of these moral issues, but here's the thing. Here's my cautionary message to the alt-right, to those who in some cases are pretending, but let's say traditionalists and so forth. People, if you're going to complain about politically correct bullshit, and I do, then you have to assume people have to be honest about what they actually believe. And when people pretend to be morally outraged on a deep, visceral level about things like this, more often than not, in my experience, they are not being truthful. They don't actually have a visceral response. They ultimately, in many cases, don't care at all. They pretend to care. They pretend to be outraged with gays, with abortion, with transgendered people. It doesn't really, with interracial relations. It doesn't matter. They're not actually that mad about what's happening. They're pretending to be mad. Be truthful about your real beliefs. You know, it doesn't matter if it's some PC idiot Marxist fucking Obama-ite bullcrap artist trying to tell you what you can and cannot say, whether it's acceptable or not, or whether it's you're feeling peer pressure from a bunch of other supposed right-wingers who are saying, well, you don't hate gay people? My God, it's the end of the world. Well, obviously you're just a cuck or a Marxist or something. It's the same fucking difference. It's like, look back at the Satanic Panic when people are saying, well, if you're not Christian, then there's something wrong with you. These fucking far-right wingers, the funny thing is, they were going after groups that would have arguably, politically, possibly been on their side on some issues, like a bunch of pagans. You look at the pagan movements now, half of them are like far-right, some of them are outright Nazis. But these groups were completely alienated to a bunch of right-wing moralist Christians on the basis that they thought they were drinking blood or something like that. I mean, it was really funny in a way to look back and see how the Christian evangelicals alienated themselves with these groups. The left has done basically the same thing. You can see right now, third wave feminists are really alienating the gay community. It's actually remarkable to watch. You see this happening. Hillary's done it several times now. If the alt-right wants to prosper and be more than just a meme movement like any of these other retard groups, like you look at third wave feminists, I'm not comparing the two. I'm not saying the alt-right's retarded. I'm saying if they don't want to appear similar in many respects to any of these meme groups that have existed, whether they're right or left, it really makes no difference. You know, the fucking snake-handling evangelicals, third-wave feminists, the sort of gay activists that strap dildos to their body and walk down the street, and somehow this is to show that gay is normal or something, which doesn't make much sense to me. If they want to avoid that, they need to, allow some discourse within the movement. You can't just have one stagnant, all-encompassing, homogenized movement whereby if anybody steps out of line for even a second, then they're automatically a Marxist cuck or something. It just doesn't work that way. You see this happen. Ramsey Paul has addressed this several times and tried to sort of put people in their place and say, there is some room for debate over gay issues in some of these things. I don't think many people are calling Ramsey Paul a cuck, although I'm sure that the echoing chorus of people who are perhaps a little bit far out in right field, I'm sure that will be magnified in time. No, I don't care if transgendered people use the bathroom that they want to use. I think there will be an issue with perverts who aren't actually transgendering themselves, simply cross-dressing and trying to look at little girls or boys, whichever they prefer, because both happens. I think that's going to be an issue. But then again, I guess it kind of already is. We already basically do have that problem. Most people aren't perverts, though. Most people aren't going to do that. Most people, when they go into the bathroom, they're farting, shitting, pissing, making manly noises, clearing their throat or whatever. It's basically what they do in the bathroom. Unless they happen to be a vegan, in which case they're telling everybody in the bathroom that they're vegan. That's generally also going to be what happens. Or if they're a Bernie fan, vote for Bernie. Otherwise, you're the next Hitler or something. No, I mean, the moral outrage, really, it didn't work for the evangelicals. It didn't work for the anti-war or anti-war protesters in like the 60s, early 70s. It's not working for the third wave feminists. I mean, look at how quickly they're getting beaten down online. There's a reason why the far right, which is anyone who wants a border, there's a reason that's gaining more than just a small foothold now online. Online it used to be, oh, well, it's a bunch of liberals online and they're spreading their gay and their feminism and their Hindu stuff and all this. And now look, it's basically the internet is becoming more and more a far-right bastion of free speech in a world kind of run amok with a bunch of social Marxist bullshit. And if that is to continue, there still needs to be dialogue there, because what happens when you squeeze the soap too tightly, it flies right out of your hand. You have to hold it more gently. There has to be some malleability within your discourse, within your ideology. If there's not, more often than not, what you are is simply being stubborn. A lot of these people, again, they don't even fucking care. They may say faggot all day. At the end of the day, they probably don't really care if you're gay. Maybe they're listening to Elton John when they go home, for all you know. Feminists that all day they hate men. When they get home, they get a firm dicking. This is the way that the world works. It's not going to stop working that way because somebody has an ideological axe to grind. It really isn't. I'm not going to pretend to be outraged over this. And for Trump to say this, good on him. He's basically just one-upped the Democrats. Now they're going to be scrambling to pretend to care about transgendered issues, which they don't. The Democratic Party wasn't on the forefront of any of these social movements. Feminism, they were far behind on feminism. Gay rights, first openly gay presidential candidate was a libertarian back in the 1970s. Race, yeah, I'm sure the party of the Ku Klux Klan, yeah, they were really fighting for equal rights for black citizens. After the Lyndon Baines Johnson era, when he said, well, I'll have these voting for me for the next 100 years. Yeah, they can claim that, but that's a mythology. Ultimately, that's a fiction. The Republican Party was formed as an anti-slavery party, folks. Why the fuck would you have a problem with what Trump's saying here? Why the fuck do you even care? There are transgendered people in your bathroom already. It's not going to magically get more prolific just because Trump says, well, I don't have a problem with it. Why would he fucking care? I mean, I'm scratching my head. I'm trying to think of a reason I should care. I'm even trying to think of a reason why, like, an evangelical would care. Is there even, like, a verse in the Bible against this? I'm coming up blank. This should be a cut and dry issue for them. There were people in ancient times that used to cross-dress. Who fucking cares? David Bowie, one of the best musical artists of all time, was basically androgyne and fucking did his makeup at the time. Probably many people did mistake him for a woman if he was walking down the street. Who fucking cares? He could rock. It's not a moral outrage to me. For some people, it may be. I think more than half of them, though, honestly, they don't care. Again, though, we should get ahead of this and make it a dead issue before we have another fucking... You remember the gay marriage debate, how retarded it was towards the end with all these idiot evangelicals pretending to still care about the issue, pretending that they could still win on the issue? Let's avoid that. Let's avoid another stupid Supreme Court struggle, because the Supreme Court's just a bunch of idiot politicians at this point. They happen to be appointed by different political administrations. Why should we even fucking care about what they have to say? The judiciary branch is non-functional. They were like the last ones to really get truly screwed up, but no, lately they are. So no, not a major issue for me. I don't care. That's about all. Peace out.